Good morning. I'm Pastor Tully here with my Wednesday morning message, and I've got a very special guest with me this morning. This is Helen. Helen is the clerk down at Smyrna Presbyterian Church, one of my 3 churches that I work with. And the other day we had a session meeting, and Helen led the devotion, and she had a really good devotion. She asked some really good questions, and I asked her if she would come and record this video, so she's got some things to share with you.
Good morning. Our scripture is 1 Corinthians 11, verse 17. In the following directives, I have no praise for you, for your meetings do more harm than good. Well, obviously, Paul was writing to the church at Corinth, and he wasn't very happy with them. And so I think we can think about our churches and if we're doing what Paul would be happy with in our churches. My first question would be, how do we worship? When we come to church, are we fully concentrating on what's going on? Is our mind wandering? Are we thinking about what we're going to have for lunch? Or how soon this is going to be over? So how do we worship? And why do we worship? Do we come to church on Sunday because we are wondering if anybody's going to notice what we've got on, if we've got on new shoes? Or
That's a good reason to come to church,
absolutely.
showing off those new shoes.
Absolutely. Do we come because we've always come? Or do we come to see our friends, and that's the place we see them? How do we show our devotion to God? We worship God during a service, but it's not necessary that we be in a building to worship God. It depends on what our heart and mind are focusing on at the time. And lastly, and what I'd like for you to think about is, why do you go to church?
Yeah, I think that question, how do we show our devotion to God? If going to worship on Sunday morning is the only way that people show their devotion to God, they are missing out on a lot. Yeah, those are really great questions. Thank you, Helen. Why do we worship? How do we worship? How do we show our devotion to God? And why do you go to church? So I'd love to hear from you. Why do you go to church? I think those are really good questions. I think there's a lot of power in a really good question. So thank you, Helen, for coming to join me.
Enjoyed it.
Next week, I'm going to try to answer those questions. It'll probably take me 3 or 4 weeks to get through all of them. Those are good questions, maybe a question a week kind of thing. So I will see you all next week. Take care.